Hello, my name is Zhatelier, and welcome back for another episode of Aurora 4X as the Valhalla Vanguard. And I skipped ahead in time again, so we now got the commercial jump drive engine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start getting some of the logistical stuff. So the cargo handling system is one of the things. And then we'll probably add in the very large fuel tanks, because those will save us some materials to build, rather than having the same capacity from multiple smaller ones. Of course, in combat you want to have redundancy, just so that if something is blown up by the enemy, you will, if you have only one engine, then you, first of all, you're screwed, and secondly, something might go wrong other than that. So you want to have a little bit of redundancy, especially on military vessels, but on civilians, I mean, if they are in a battle, they're screwed anyway. It doesn't really matter that much. And saving minerals is always nice. I think we'll add in the cryogenic transport as well. Then the sensors guy, there are still 2 research queued up, so we don't need to worry about that anytime soon. Pebble wet reactor, we'll just wait until we get the pebble wet reactor, then we'll start researching the better engines, and we might even get the fuel consumption down to 0.7 liters per engine power hour, because that is also a rather useful thing to have. And then at some point we're going to have to get the capacity recharge rate, which is especially useful for lasers and such. But anyway, let's keep on going once again. And I know this hasn't really been too much of an action yet in these first episodes, but once we get the next year explorations, it will be able to build them rather quickly. And speaking of which, we'll add another researcher for the Pelvet reactor person, or researchers. We'll get that now in November. Unfortunately, they have not leveled up their bonus, but they will probably do that soon enough. And then in December we'll get the EM sensor sensitivity 6. We will probably want to upgrade that to level 8 before we start planning our active sensors. Or maybe even higher than that, but at least 8, because otherwise they just won't be able to spot enemies. I mean, they will be, just not efficiently. We're gonna have to make a rather large sensors to be able to do much. And that is usually away from your weaponry or something else, so, or potentially away from your weaponry, most likely away from your fuel storage, of course, but still, you want to save space wherever you can. And the military vessels, the point defense ship and the missile ship, will be both 10,000 tons. That's the target size that I'm going for, which actually would. We got the pebble reactor technology now. Excellent. So we'll start researching the nuclear pulse engine with 5 labs, and then we'll actually queue up the fuel consumption already. And then we'll get the engine techs or engines designed, and we'll probably have to do. We don't need to do the size 1 engine. Probably not even the size 5 engine either, so we'll just go with size 10 military, and then we'll go for size 25 and 50 for the commercial. That should be fine. Right, so we're gonna get another research done in, it's the sensor efficiency in December, and it's gonna be April. We're gonna get the thermal reduction. Which actually, should we queue up something else here? Maybe we start getting some of the shield technology. Then the early shields are not necessarily particularly great, and they do use a fair bit of fuel, but at the same time they can save up your ship a little bit at least. Right, research into active sensor has commenced, and we got the EM sensor technology researched. Excellent. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't find anything in the Planet 1. Planet 1, we didn't find any new research, or new resources there, which is slightly unfortunate, but we'll just have to find the minerals elsewhere. That's about it, really. Now we know that there's going to be 2 jump points here in Humir, because we checked that in the episode 0, the setup episode, but we'll see. Oh, right, we got the thermal reduction research now, excellent. So what's going to happen next? Imminent events, there's no imminent events, we're going to get cargo handling system done in January. And we're going to get some automated mines constructed in August. Oh, let's just keep on going. Who knows, maybe we'll get some more researchers, because that would be useful. Or some of the researchers might get promotions. But it doesn't look like it right now. New officer. Let me actually take a quick look at the officers here. Do we still have a staff, head of staff? We do. Commander Fleet Headquarters, that tracks. If we have a look over here, we got some posts here that are being filled while we have the commander, but once the commander is or dies, you do need to reassign a new one there. Alright, I turned off the automated channel. Why isn't this going forward? There's something happening, or... But no, it's just me being forgetful. Ah, we got the automated mine produced now. We started on the fuel refinery. Excellent. We still haven't gotten the freighter design, but we'll do that soon enough. Probably you're gonna use the engines that we'll be researching in due time. Okay, just trying to keep up with the officer updates and such, but there's not too much important going on there. So as I've said, the starts of this game are usually fairly slow, but once you get going... Oh, new scientist. Hold on. Let's pause for a moment. Power and propulsion 20%. Is that better than what we have right now? It is. I think we're gonna switch to the researcher then. So how long until that is completed? It's gonna be June next year. And this year we're gonna get... Oh! We're gonna get a cargo handling system rather soon. So we can start designing the freighter at that point. We will set up the old engines there for now, but we'll switch them out later. Don't need to wait for long to get the research though. There we go, and we started on the fuel storage very large. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna, again, no theme name, because we don't want to use the theme names that we use, because you will run out of them eventually. So I'm just going to use it because I have some of these planned or pre-planned. Right, new design. Now we're going to rename this to Knar. We're going to specify as F4 freight. Technically for this civilian designs you don't need to put any deployment time, but I like to put in deployment time for, I suppose, role-playing sense. I mean, technically the morale is not useful for them in any way, shape or form, but at the same time I prefer to use them. If I remember correctly, I'm gonna use 8 engines. Sounds about right. We don't put in jump engine for this, we're gonna put in standard cargo hold and 5 handling systems. And then what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna put in just fuel storage for the remaining of the space. We can fit in quite a few. We don't have the tiny fuel storage, so we can't quite top that off. But yeah, that would be basically it. I mean, we'll get the better engines and the bigger fuel storages, so it will lower the cost a little bit. But the build points currently is 9 or almost 1,000. But yeah, oh right, and we should switch the designation to freighter. But yeah, the build time is still pretty long, and the load time is still fairly decent, but we can then, once we get one of these built, we just need to get the better engines, and then it's basically ready. Then we'll start ferrying in the automated mines to the other planets, just to start getting some resources pouring in. Now, when do we get... It was in next year, wasn't the nuclear year? That's quite a bit away then. Is there anything in here? Not really. Nothing's gonna happen, so we're just gonna go in 30-day increments then. Oh, kinetic weapons and missile. Ooh. That wasn't actually a bad research. Let's have a look at the stats. Compared to the one that we currently have. It is actually a little bit better. So we can cancel that. It's a young researcher, so it should be rather useful. So we can start this. And I do believe I had queued up something for the missile researcher. Probably... The... agility? Hold on, oh, we are currently doing the agility. Oh, never mind then. We have that sorted. I think I'll start getting the rate of fire for the gauss cannons, so that we can get our close-in weapon systems as efficient as possible. I mean, maybe we should get the first levels of railgun at least, just to compare it to the laser. Because I don't remember the ranges. I think it's going to be something like 15,000 for the standard size in the first tier technology, but I could have checked that between the episodes, of course, but I did not. Sorry about that. Alright, is there anything else that we need to build now? We could build the cargo handling systems. We're going to use quite a few of those, so we'll just build, I don't know, 50. That's going to save us a little bit of time, but they're not particularly expensive, so it's not going to save us a huge amount of time. And then we'll probably build a couple of these. Like, I think we'll go for 5 now. So we'll make sure that the shipyards can keep up a bit easier. Right, but so far... yeah, we're gonna need a lot of resources elsewhere. Or from elsewhere. Let's go in 30-day increments once again. Of promotions and shuffling around of the staff. Ah, research completed. So we got the Alpha Shield. Started researching the shield regenerate. Okay, and now we're gonna get the... So there's one in April, that's the grav sensor. Strength 10, and then we're gonna get the missile agility, and then the nuclear pulse engine. How much did we even research the... No, I don't think we did. No, we didn't, but we do have that in here, so we'll queue up that for the engine researcher. Then we'll get the better engines after that, so we can save even more fuel. And with the better speed, we'll get further away. We will increase the ranges, not necessarily huge amounts, but it will certainly increase them. So how much? It's going to be in April. What we're going to do is we're going to take that. Oh, we got another lab. Alright, where should we assign that? Honestly, I'm going to start increasing the sensor research, because we are going to need a lot of those. And I want to get the research done early rather than close to the year 50, where I want to have at least some sort of ships, military ships in production. Speaking of which, we should probably start preparing for that and get a naval shipyard complex. We'll also get another commercial shipyard complex just so that we can get the thorium harvesters going on. And maybe the Tarks, so I'm gonna go with one right now. We'll see what we'll build after that. We've got a lot of mines still under construction, but that means that we will run out of a lot of the minerals rather soon. Oh right, it was in April and not in March. Well, I suppose we can go with the 5-day increments now. There we go. Thermal sensor sensitivity has started. Let's have a look at the research for the sensor researcher. What could we assign there? Let's assign the beam fire control. We are going to need that. Then what we can get is the electronic hardening is not a bad thing to have, but right now I haven't seen it to be required against the precursors, because that's probably what we'll be fighting for the most part. But at the same time, yeah, we'll get the grav sensor strength 12, queue that one up, and maybe get the EM sensor sensitivity. And with those two, we should be able to get at least a decent active sensors going on, or at least some sensors, but at the same time, it might not be that great yet. And right, so we got the energy weapons, missiles, and power and propulsion. The energy weapons is the only one that we're not researching out of those, but at the same time we don't really have capability for that. Not right now anyway. So next thing we're gonna get in June. It's gonna take a while. And over here we're gonna get next thing in next year. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, some promotions going on there. We still haven't explored the gravitational sensors, or the jump points, which is not great to be honest. Okay, we completed the missile agility, we started the ghost cannon fire rate, and yeah, that's about it about there. We'll get another one by the end of the month. Oh, there we go. Now we'll have to let him research that, and it's going to take a while actually. It's going to be completed in April 30. So by the year 35 we'll probably have started doing, or probably have already finished doing the gravitational survey of the system. The jump point survey, that is. So we'll be able to then jump into other systems, and we'll probably be doing about 5 explorers. And again, if you want to have a ship named after you, just let me know in the comments the ship class and then the name that you want the ship to have. But of course, I will reserve my right to censor any unsavory stuff there, or anything that isn't really in any way, shape or form fitting. I mean, sure enough, it's something that is your name. It doesn't have to be fitting for the Norse theme, but if you want to have something fitting to the Norse theme, that's excellent. But anyway, let's keep on going. We still need to wait a long while to get a lot of the research done. So the productions over here will not be done anytime soon, so we can probably go in the... even up at the start of the month. And then we'll go on 30-day increments. Just to keep things going. Right, but once we do find the jump points, there's going to be 2, if I remember correctly. There's one on this side somewhere and one on this side. I don't remember the exact locations. I don't really need to. We'll find them out soon enough. Not necessarily in this episode, but in one of the future episodes. Ah, we got the mines completed. Now started working on the cargo handling systems. Excellent. Let's keep on going. And we completed the fuel refineries. We started on the commercial jump drives. That's also good. Did we finish the research for the... No, we're currently getting the fuel storage large, and then we got the cryogenic transport queued up, then... No, there should be... Right. This is just changing the priority over here, so if you want to research something that is in the queue faster than something else, then you can put it on the top. It will just put it on top of that particular researcher. Right, so we're gonna get the... Well, yeah, we're gonna get the shield regenerate pretty soon. Do we have anything else queued up there? I don't think we do. Well, I suppose we could queue up something. Maybe we'll queue up the beta shields or something like that. I'll go manual increment right now. Right, so we got that research done. Now, how long until the next one? It's gonna be in February. Then April, July. So next year we're gonna get a lot of research done, that's for sure. I think we'll just go with the automated 5-turn increments. 5-day increments. That should be pretty good. I mean, again, I know that there's not a huge amount going on right now. But I think next turn we will do the jump point survey. If need be, I'll just play ahead in off-screen. Just so that we'll reach that. And we started working on the naval shipyard complex. We got the cargo handling systems completed, so that will also save us a little bit of time in producing the colony ships and freighters and a few other things. And we should be getting research pretty soon here. There we go. So I've got the ghost cannon rate of fire. Let's actually make sure that we add in the launch velocity just in case. Queue up that, and then we're going to actually queue up the rate of fire too, because we do want to have as high a rate of fire as possible. Of course, it does get more and more expensive. And we'll put in that. We'll basically research a lot of here right now. Maybe even the launcher reload rate, and sooner or later we are going to have to research a lot or design a lot of parts that we'll be using. But right now we don't really need them yet. Not yet, that is. Soon enough, I suppose. Actually, one thing that I could design, although we are getting the better thermal sensors, going to be done in July. Fair enough. Oh, we got the commercial jump drives completed, so that's enough for 5 jumping vehicles. So 1 target, maybe 2 colony ships, and something else, like 1 fuel tanker, or something. Although, we'll see how much we need to get. Okay, construction mine completed. Oh, we didn't have anything queued up for that. Well, at this point, I'll just start increasing the research thingamajig, so we'll get more research labs, so we'll get our research done quicker and so forth. I think that's going to be a good option right now. We are still getting a fair bit of construction factories. And we now have all the mines that we have been building. I mean, we will be building more automated mines. I'll put in another 25 of those to the queue. Wait, no. There we go. That's up into queue. We'll have to wait a little bit until there's more room in their production queue, but that's fine. But yeah, we'll get another research lab rather soon, actually. But we're technically out of time. It's gonna quickly take us 1 month forward to get the research done. Got the fuel consumption, and we'll design the engines now, because we can get the pulse engines. So we'll go for hull size 10, create that, then hull size 25, and lower the engine power, create that, and hull size 50 and create that. So that's 3 engines that we need to research, and we'll research those right away. So we'll create that, then we'll queue up the bigger engine first and then the smaller one. The smaller one will be used probably in the fuel harvesters and such that do need to have a little bit of an engine to go through the well, I suppose wormholes that the jump engines make, go from one system to another, or warp or something. But anyway, we'll need to have one engine there to be able to go through those, and in those, depending on the jump engine type, if it's military or commercial, you need to have that type of engines in the ships going to go through that. But it doesn't need to be classified as necessarily military or commercial, as long as it has the right set of engines. But anyway, now that we are actually out of time for this episode, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.